Look at the countries that constantly around the world get attacked. It's the countries that don't have nukes.
Because everybody say Dubai and the region is safe.
In 2 weeks, Tel Aviv didn't look the way it looked before. In 2 weeks.
Yeah, that
if
was
they
a lot of serious
continue
damage.
and America
And I
doesn't
think that
back them
was-
up, I don't think that there is a Tel Aviv after another 4
Yeah.
weeks.
Through all this chaos, I think one thing
Benefits Dubai.
that was really clear is that UAE is the place to be for that.
10, 15, 20% of Tel Aviv looked like Gaza.
Hello everyone. Today we're here for an emergency podcast. A lot of things are happening in the region and in the world. And who's better than Amir and Bardia to commentate about them and talk about them and give us their forecasts and all of that. But guys, I mean, first of all, Bardia, it's been a long time we didn't see you in Maine. Happy you're here, you're back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
He's been working a lot. Raja, she will join us again very soon as well. And Amir, how is it going? How was the things after? How was the vibe after launching Flow?
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's looking
Congratulations for Flow.
amazing, bro.
Yeah, we're really
I love
like
it.
excited.
Yeah.
At the same time, anxious to be able to break ground. We expect to do that this summer. And in the meantime, we've been very fortunate to be able to see a good response from the marketplace. Although, of course, there's a lot of like uncertainty in the marketplace.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think there's always a demand for a good project.
100%.
And that's something that we were blessed with.
We will talk about. That's gonna be a subject that we will tackle about what's gonna the impact of what's happening on real estate. But before we go there, and I know you both of you.
Before you go there,
Yeah.
how many units in the building?
50 units.
Come on, man.
Small.
Even
boutique.
in a terrible market in somewhere in Zimbabwe, 50 units is
It will work.
If it's a good project, it's a good
it's an
project.
ama-
Location
it's
is
Miami
great.
here.
Location is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's looking amazing. They got small little pools in the balcony and that.
there's like a party
I'm
place.
a fan. A lot of people are not, but I kind of like that. It's a little
Yeah.
bit of a luxury. If you
Yeah.
can't afford the mansion stuff, you can get yourself a one bed with a little pool.
Flow,
I love that
develop
stuff.
Flow
Flow is
responsibly.
killing.
Yeah.
Flow is
Yeah.
killing. Flow
We
is.
I'm
develop
loving it.
responsibly. We're not here to just basically throw projects in there just for the
Yeah,
profit.
I love
it's
it.
more to be able to create a project that we can be proud of.
Exactly.
From just a developer perspective, but also as a unit owner perspective.
Miami themed and everything.
we're
Sorry
gonna-
to interrupt you. Now you go.
We will come back to Flow.
Yeah.
So okay, it all started with we spoke about it before, like Trump being elected. The sentiment was good in the U.S. Then we saw the tariffs. Then this Iran-Israel conflict, and then the U.S. Interfering there. But somehow it landed good.
Yeah.
Today morning or yesterday morning, we woke up on good news. And we have an American and a European, originally Iranian,
Yeah, my
in the
parents.
same table. So it's
My parents,
interesting
yeah.
to have this combination. So yeah, like I really wanna, and you're originally Pakistani, so
Yes.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
so we
that's
will have a
crazy.
lot of nuances from different sides of the world. So my first question, guys, it feels like Trump and the way he interfered in this war, it was the reason why there is peace now. Am I wrong? Everybody thought he's adding fire to the fuel, but actually he kind of fixed it.
From a Pakistani perspective, I'll tell you this. Did you know?
He started with Pakistani perspective.
Did you know that Pakistan voted for Trump to get the Nobel Peace Prize?
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow.
What the hell?
That he was a peacemaker in the
Yeah.
India-Pakistan conflict.
Yeah.
And then now, I think Iran should be on the same page to be able to vote him in as a peacemaker.
100%.
But all jokes aside, I think that definitely getting Trump involved helped being able to like calm, I think, Israel down a little bit.
Yeah.
Although they didn't completely stop.
They didn't. They
But
continued.
at least they know that they're doing it now at the cost of their relationship with the U.S.
Yeah.
Not
It was
only
too
that.
much.
Not only that. I mean, let's just be very honest here, and I'm not being biased or unbiased. In 2 weeks, Tel Aviv didn't look the way it looked before. In
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah, that
if
was
they
a lot of serious
continue and
damage.
America
And I
doesn't
think that
back them
was-
up, I don't think that there is a Tel Aviv after another 4
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
Like Iran's got artillery that no one knew. The intel was saying, I've just got, like, I don't really watch news. I don't get involved in politics because they don't pay my bills. I'm trying to focus on my own life.
I agree.
But this is going to affect our likelihood because we live right across the ocean from Iran. So I start really looking, and my parents obviously in Iran waiting for my father's health problem and all of that so they can fly back to Sweden. So I was really tuned into this. Let's just face it, man. Wrong intel. Ended up seeing like Iran's got like 28 or something, 27,000
yeah.
missiles instead of 2. And they got more coming in from backup than they were
Yeah.
consuming. And they've already completely, it looked like 10, 15, 20% of Tel Aviv looked like Gaza. Like, let's just be real. So they couldn't continue anyway. So
I think that was a wake-up call for
it
them.
was a chihuahua fighting a pit bull.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
it looks like.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Iran is big. I didn't know myself that they're that strong. Like,
Yeah. They are, of course, they are one of the strongest armies in the region.
I didn't know. I had no idea.
And I think neither Iran or Israel or even Trump and the U.S. wanted to be the people who will launch the third world war. You know, they didn't want to be
Nobody
these
wants
people.
that on their name,
They don't
yeah.
want to enter the history as people who initiated it. And I knew it when I've seen. Have you seen the video of Trump? The last video, he was like, "I'm mad
Yeah.
at both Israel
Yeah.
and Iran."
Frustrated.
And he just
Super.
and he left and he was like
Do you un- Yeah.
he was tired.
Yeah,
Like he was
yeah.
holding a white
He was
cap and he was like, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna
Yeah.
just tell them to
Yeah.
shut
Go play
up
golf.
and sit
Yeah.
down and stop.
but see, this is the thing. This is the thing. Like, you know, I think America or the government or whatever it is, they think that they have the same power as they once had. It looks like they think that, but realistically, do they?
Militarily, yes, I think.
Yeah, but impact in terms of influence,
Well,
do they?
I mean-
China's huge.
Yeah.
Russia is there. Iran, like, without America, the question is, without America being, you know, brother, sister with Israel, would Israel attempt these attacks?
No, obviously not.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They kind of relied on it.
Yeah.
So the question is, because I've watched YouTube so much now, for 1 week, I'm like, what's going to happen to my business? What's going to happen to us? And what's going to happen to my mom and dad? So I kind of tuned in,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Man, this so-called war, 2 weeks war or whatever, it's caused a lot of damage internally. The trust for Trump, because he was supposed to be a peacemaker. He got dragged into it. And also, I don't think you know, this whole thing sits too well with the people of Israel because they got dragged into something and it backfired quite hard. They got
Yeah.
neighborhoods destroyed.
And even Israelis, the people
They're not
who live in
used to
Israel,
getting-
they were
That's what
against
I'm saying.
it.
they
were
got
against it.
neighborhoods destroyed, bro.
They had a wake-up call. I think that they relied heavily on their Iron
Yeah.
Dome, and they thought that was going to be their savior. And I think they got shocked.
Yeah.
I think they got shocked.
They
that the Iron
escaped the
Dome-
country.
But regardless
They
of that,
escaped.
before the war, they were against what's going on. They wanted to stop. Everybody wants peace. Now the people want peace.
Yeah.
Everybody know the truth, and things are going well between humans. Like there's a lot of people that are coming to Dubai. They're meeting people from different nationalities. It's what's happening in the U.S. from a long time ago, but it's happening now here. And we know that we are all people who want all peace, and this region is developing so fast. So.
Human needs are certainty and security.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're going to go where that's offered. And that, I think, through all this chaos, I think one thing
Benefits Dubai.
that was really clear is that UAE is the place to be for that.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, in the midst of everything's happening, I mean, I was sure 100% that nothing will happen here. Worst case scenario, like a base will be hit here,
Yeah.
a blip in the market, and then things would be like. I don't think this is more. Corona is way severe than what we had.
Yeah.
And I don't think even there is like a drop. A drop was happening regardless.
Yeah, it was.
So, yeah.
It
Overall
was.
speaking, in times of chaos, in times of uncertainty in the world, Dubai thrives. It's a
Yeah.
place where capital comes to find security. Families
Safety.
come to
Safety.
find security,
Yeah.
and they find it, and they enjoy it, and that's really what creates the demand for Dubai real estate and Dubai lifestyle.
So what do you think? What do you think is gonna happen in the region? Not specifically Dubai, because before this happening or during when this was happening, I felt like there was a solidarity between the GCC countries. I don't know if you heard they run a new visa where you can circulate in all the
GCC.
GCC. Yeah,
didn't
with
know
one
that.
Visa. Yeah.
I didn't know
They
that.
wanted to create, and there is another thing that I think Dubai leadership did, where you can it's trade on non-oil based materials.
That's already there. They just mean that's any segment outside of oil trade is booming. Like the country's booming and the country's innovating and the country's flourishing. If you even deduct the oil side of things, so it's continuously in a surplus.
Yeah,
That's
from a UAE perspective,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
think
yeah.
we're
I mean, Abu
independent
Dhabi
of
sits
that.
on a lot of oil, so but Dubai is thriving in all the other sectors. But at the end of the day, the Fitch report, we discussed this last time. We were all like, at the end of the day, I just feel like the mentality of investors in Dubai is a bit spoilt. You know, it's a bit spoilt because we have been spoilt because there's no other country or no other city like Dubai in terms of being in the very beginning of what's being built. So it grows incredibly fast. So you have the possibility to come in a very, very entry market and reap the benefits when it comes to capital gains, because as soon as a community gets built, that's capital gain, right? Infrastructure. We have appreciation based on trends. Like, for example, during COVID, a lot of people moved from the state of New York, moved to Florida, and a lot of people moved from the state of California to Texas. That's a trend. There wasn't anything that Texas did infrastructurally or Florida did infrastructurally. That was based on trends, based on other macro factors such as taxes, et cetera, right? But Dubai has an infrastructure appreciation model. So when you have a bunch of plots and it's not being infrastructured and there's no supermarkets and there's no parks, etc., once you develop that, obviously the price is going to double or triple or whatever, what have you, right? So, but what happened is now, I think the prices since COVID, like we have a life cycle, we have a property cycle, and we've come to the end of this cycle, was peaked. Of course, it's going to dip a little bit. I don't understand why people find it so unbelievable that things are dipping. I don't find it. It's normal. It's like any stock, any exchange. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. But we have cycles where it goes up way more, and we have cycles where it goes down a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know why people are so surprised. Our property price gone up 60% in 5 years. What do you think's going to happen? Continue? Is the income gone up the same way? Has the prices of all the other, produce in the market gone up the same way? Is petrol prices have gone up the same way? No. So you must come to a tipping point where it's going to correct. It's normal. But now people are panicking because they were expecting continuous growth until forever, and everyone's going to become rich off a studio or a one bed. Now everyone's trying to panic discuss and make these conversations that they're panicking all of a sudden. Yeah, like listen, you're going to get hit. I'm going to get hit. We all going to get hit with a 5, 10, 15%, but we're going to pick up again. Real estate is what? Long-term game. It's an asset. It's not something you flip.
Yeah, it's not a car.
We've just had the privilege to flip based on infrastructure appreciation.
Short-term gains.
You understand what I'm saying?
I agree and I disagree. I agree is because definitely there is a tipping point. There always has to be a correction in the marketplace. It cannot just continuously go to a place where to the moon and never return. And I disagree is only because of the fact that the problem in Dubai, or the unique situation here, is that it's uncharted territories. If you go to any market, let's say we compare it to the US, that real estate industry is 200 years old. Plus 200-300 years old, right? So from that perspective, there's a chart that you can read and understand how fast and what macros and micros are going to affect real estate values, demand, so on and so forth. Here, we've grown so exponentially that people are just playing out of true emotions. They're trading, they're buying, they're selling based upon emotion. And when you work from a place of emotion, then basically you don't know. It's like a slide. It could be a slide, right? Or it could be just the fact that when there's a slide, new people will enter and they'll basically build the next demand or the next wave of buyers that'll come in to be able to build the next peak.
100%.
So from that perspective, I think it's a good place to be. It's a good place to be is because you have uncharted growth, right? You have a vision of our leadership and government that tells you that there is expected jobs and expected population that's going to be coming to Dubai over the next 10 years. And developers are truly bought into that, and they are basically putting their money where their mouth is and and making these
acting on
projects
that.
come to life.
Very
So
true.
from
Very,
that
very true.
perspective, I think that we're not an over leveraged economy like the US is, right? So here, you're not going to see a slide, or you're not going to see a dip that to the point that where your investments are going to lose 20, 30, 40%, right? It could be a correction, which is good because a correction will bring in new set of buyers that were never considering to jump in before.
Okay.
I agree.
I have a question.
Very true.
I have two questions, and they will circle a little bit back to what happened lately. Because there's a lot of people I know from the US, Europe, whatever, especially the newcomers who've been in Dubai for 1 year, 2 years. When this happened, they were panicking. War. Even we're talking Qatar also, because Qatar have one of the bases was hit, right?
Yeah.
Do you think when this happened, it will reinforce people staying here and more people coming to the region, or it might stop things for a moment and then people will come back? How do you see it?
So I'm going to give you a little personal story of mine. I was on a plane on Monday night when they announced that all the traffic airspace is going to be closed down and stuff like that. I'm like, man, this is bad.
You have
that
to get
this
home.
is going to be something that where am I going to even see my
Wait, this
family?
happened after flow launch? What?
Yeah, what's going on with my launch? What's happening?
So I'm like scared, but like every thought went through
Bro,
my
but
mind.
one thing, bro, I don't know, like I really appreciate how, like a businessman, his life can be hell or heaven in
Yeah.
one day. Like I don't know how
Yeah.
you're handling the stress, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can continue the story.
I like my life, just because, I mean, at that time, like there was no imminent threat, but at that time, like when you think about airspace is closed and you start following all the media, that bombs are falling in Qatar, which is a city that you could have never imagined that would have been targeted or hit, you would think that you're next, right? But the way they handled it, I'm sitting on the Emirates plane, and they make the decision that we're going to take 5-10 minutes to be able to decide if we're going to take off or we're going to ground this flight. And they came back and they said, no, we're going to take off. It's because we're heading east and the war is west of us. And honestly, they did all their, I think, internal calls, whatever they had to make. And they basically took off as if nothing is going to be affected. So that told me that, wow, that here they are so engaged and they're so on top of making sure that life, first of all, they look at the threat, they looked at the risk of flying, and then they made the decision that, you know what, we're good.
Yeah.
And life can't carry it on.
Yeah.
So yes, it's human nature to be able to feel fear when that's happening all around you. But at the same time, you have to trust that you're in a country that puts your safety and your day-to-day life first. They put that as the number one focus. And they do whatever they can to make sure that that doesn't get exposed, that doesn't get at any time put at risk.
I agree.
And then life goes on.
And
then
life
it did.
goes on, really. Like
And
life
then it
goes
did,
on.
yeah. So sometimes we, in our heads, basically create this fictional story, right? Fear means what? Evidence, sorry, what is it? Evidence, false evidence appearing real.
Yeah,
Right?
it's false
Fear.
evidence. Yeah, it's
false evidence
appearing real.
right?
That's fear.
That's all fear. So we put these stories and we fabricate these stories in our head sometimes that are bigger than what it really is.
Yeah.
But if we look at the overall market, and if you look at the way that our local government has ran this country through COVID, through natural catastrophes like the flood last year, we came out winning every time.
Yeah, it's like the way I see it, the positive side of it, like, because everybody say Dubai and the region is safe, and when there was a little bit of turmoil, it was handled perfectly. I mean, things came back fast. It's like the flood, it's like COVID, and that's another angle of turmoil or disturbances that can happen in the region and how they were handled. What do you think about this, Bardia? What's your
I think
view on
there's
that?
two different types of people in, the Western countries. I think we can segregate them into two different folders, so to speak. We have the people that understands the Middle East, understands the history of Middle East, and understand that it is a troublesome area because this is where all the wealth is and the rest of the world trying to exploit the wealth. And there's resistance that you don't find in Africa to the same extent. And of course, it's going to affect us by them getting scared for the moment, by moving here, investing here, whatever the case is. But then you have the people that, you know, sorry, they're not going to be affected. They're going to understand that this is, you know, okay, if this didn't happen, if Israel never unprovokedly like attacked, and like this would never happen, and they understand that, look, these governments are not spending so many $1 trillion into their infrastructure in an area which is not safe. They're not going to do that. They got their alliances, they got their contracts, they keep on innovating, etc. They would understand. Also, they would understand that these attacks that was being carried out to Bahrain and Doha and all of this, it wasn't attacked to those countries to start or execute more war. It was the military base of America, because America, again, against international law, attacked a country to then come out and say we've obliterated. Just, it feels like this whole thing was, I don't know, like a
by
show.
By the way, they sent an apology. Sorry to interrupt you. They sent an apology to Qatar. Iran sent an apology to Qatar.
Yeah, because people got scared, of course, right? But so you have that segment of people that understands the Middle East and sees it from a more of a bird's eye view. Then, of course, you're going to get the people that's going to hit us. Maybe the stream of people will reduce a little bit. They're going to be a little bit scared, yada, yada, yada. But overall, again, based on the fact how this whole war transpired, I don't know if, whatever you want to call it, and based on how our governments in the GCC, I mean, look at Saudi Arabia. Anyone that's read on and studies markets will understand the history of Saudi and where they're going in such a short amount of time, right? The guy, bin Salman, came. Look how he's transforming the country in terms of innovation and open thinking in such a short time. When Sweden or England or anyone have a parliament and they have a 4-year period, they don't execute a tenth of what they say in 4 years that Salman and the leaders of UAE do in 3 months. You understand what I'm saying? So,
I got you,
so the innovation and the way this whole region is moving forward, despite all of this nonsense that's happening with the surrounding countries of Israel and now Iran and all of that stuff, I don't think it's going to affect us to that extent. I actually believe that if we do have a correction and things slow down a little bit, it's organically based on everything that happened before this war.
It has nothing to do with
I
the war.
don't think the war is going to make, oh my God, let's stop. Because we still have the problems we have in America. We still have the problems we have in Europe in terms of taxes, in terms of uncertainty, unsafety that Amir pointed out earlier on. We still have those things that kind of overrule these small fear things that has already been a part of the area. Like, this is what I think. But, you know.
Well, I'll tell you.
It's unfortunate.
Did you guys see when Trump visited Saudi, how he endorsed Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, I know.
That clip right there tells you that the West thinks of the Middle East as an opportunity, as an opportunity, and also as a threat that they're going to take over the way that life and economies are ran.
Why you highlighted the clip? What was the thing that
the clip was about how Trump said that Saudi Arabia is better of an opportunity to invest in than U.S. itself.
He said that? What the hell?
Yes.
But it's true.
But there is
if
another
you go to America and look at the inflation rates and understand it's not sustainable, people are struggling.
There's another thing. Damak invested, I don't know how many billions in the US.
They got a project in Miami.
So there is a
pretty
lot of
big one.
So now, look, politically speaking, the US have stronger allies in the region than just Israel. So they cannot jeopardize. They cannot jeopardize. Especially the GCC is the peaceful guys. They're like, we don't want trouble here. So I think Trump was like, or the U.S. Government was like, these guys, they are going straight. There is a lot of development. There is a lot of our people living there. And these guys, they're making trouble. So they were like, no, stop. I
think we have to remember one thing. He would never cancel, like he would never do a ceasefire or propose the way he proposed if it wasn't for the fact that America still have a lot of invested interest in the region. He wouldn't care.
I agree.
He would
100%.
continue.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So I think he went out, did that little 3-bomb strike or whatever, not to completely lose touch with little brother or whatever, and then come out and say, look, I helped you with that. Now we're going to do a ceasefire. It's going to affect the whole region and your country's going down.
And your investors...
I'm just speculating, but it just looks like that.
But look,
Do you understand what I'm trying?
A lot of people invested from Israel here.
Yeah.
Of course, the money will come back to them. So they don't want to touch that.
Yeah.
They don't want the peace that they did with as Israel, the peace that they have with the GCC countries. They don't want to jeopardize that as well. Because once that will happen, everybody will see Israel as the bad guy. So I think this war reinforced that this region will be forever peaceful.
I would say
100%.
that I think that this was necessary. That, like you said, that a lot of times, like nobody wants to lose face. It's like one of those fights, right? Like where meet me after school and I'll show you what I got. Type of thing. Like, and they show face just to be able to make sure that they have respect, right? And amongst their peers. So they both had to do it. Like, Iran had to do it. U.S. had to do it. They had to show their muscle. Otherwise, they'd lose face.
Now everything is. I strongly believe that the future after this is bright. Because we know now that nobody wants trouble. Everybody want to have a peaceful life. There is a lot of financial problems in the West specifically, and they're being sorted here. So
definitely, there's bigger problems.
But there is another question that follows.
But don't you guys don't you guys think, regardless, war, not war, country, this, that, religion, whatever, region, not whatever, don't you find it really, really, really scary, the fact that, we have nuclear weapons in the world? I'm not talking about Iran now. I'm talking about like Israel and so many countries.
No, I don't think so.
No, but imagine if this would have continued, and imagine if Israel would have nuked a nation. If they've been firing away, let's say 3,000 missiles and completely annihilated 50% of Israel.
No, I
and
don't think
Israel would have, if there was no involvement from America, and they're just now at the point where they're defending themselves and they're losing, and it's the 12th round and it's you against Mike Tyson, let's say. Imagine, because when you produce a gun, let's say if you walk around with a gun or a knife, like in America, like the gun states, they're like, I have to carry a gun in order to defend
scare the
myself.
other person.
At some stage, as an individual or a country, you will get pushed to a certain extent where you will do something irate of using your gun. Imagine if that would have. Just imagine.
Can I ask you a question?
It's a war at the end of the day.
But
do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's scary.
But that's the same reason why I think that America and the rest of the world is worried about Iran having nuclear weapons as well. Is because they feel that with a nuclear war in the wrong hands, somebody can get trigger happy and just basically let it off.
Another something. I have a question.
Not saying that the ones that won already are more responsible.
But the thing is, they always attack countries that don't have nuclear weapons. They always attack countries that don't have nuclear weapons.
But they're about to have them, so they stop them. But regardless of this, if there is no nuclear weapons, what would have happened?
What? Tell me.
We would be like in World War VI or VII. Because before the nuclear weapons were invented, there was a lot of wars because nobody had the lethal weapon that can stop everything. So nobody want to touch the other person. But this is not our subject.
But let's say, let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
If every country in Europe, or in this case, Middle East, we're going back to the Saddam days, we're going back UAE, Bahrain. If all of these countries had a nuclear weapon, would anyone attack anyone else?
No.
It would be for everyone's safety.
No, but it's still,
but look at the countries that constantly around the world get attacked. It's the countries that don't have nukes.
I don't agree with that.
They don't possess.
They are about to.
But I don't agree with that. Let me tell you why. Look, I mean,
but they've
America
been saying for
has
25
nuclear weapons.
But they've been saying for 25 years that Iran's about to. They've been saying it for 25 years. Iran's days away, months away, days away. Where?
Days away,
And they were just in the middle of negotiation. Why attack them if they're in the middle of a negotiation? Why attack?
But let me tell you. I think that it has a lot to do with leadership, right? America has nuclear weapons. Pakistan has nuclear weapons.
No one's messing with Pakistan.
But look at their society.
But that's inside the country. But no one's messing with Pakistan. I don't hear any country just attacking Pakistan because they have a nuclear weapon. Do you? I don't hear that.
But what do you mean by the society?
But like
internally,
UAE does not have nuclear weapons. But it's a place where
if they
know
have,
how
you
to
will not
negotiate
be,
and be able to maintain peace.
Yeah.
That they don't need, sometimes you don't need like the laws over here, and it applies to what we were talking about earlier, what you were mentioning, that in the US, not everybody carries a gun. Right?
Yes, I agree. If you have
the
someone mentally
the
sick,
ones that carry a gun are usually the ones that you're going to probably see on the news. The ones that don't are going to be the innocent bystander that probably got shot,
Yeah.
right, by those crazies that did
Yeah.
have a gun. In the U.S., I don't carry a gun, but I feel like, you know what, I'm in safe hands by knowing that there's my creator that's going to take care of me more than a gun.
Yeah, yeah, I
Right?
agree.
And I think the Middle East feels the same way.
Yes.
Right? That they don't feel like they need a nuclear power or a nuclear weapon just to be able to feel safe. That they've left it into a higher power.
But the
Yeah.
question is,
I agree, bro. I agree.
But the question is, why is certain countries in this region, and we all know who, why are they allowed to have one?
That's not our subject.
You see what
And
I'm
you
saying?
know, if it was for me,
see what I'm
nobody
saying?
have a nuclear weapon
Of
except
course.
the
Yeah.
US and maybe
Not
another
even
two-
US. Why should
2-3
anyone have a
peaceful
nuclear
countries,
weapon?
Yeah. Or nobody. Yeah.
If it comes to the point that any country on the face of this earth will nuke another country, do you know how many people will die?
Yeah. But anyway, that's not our subject. But I have a question. Talking about this scary subject, because it scares me. When the war was happening, we were talking with Christina. We both know Christina. And she told me, Walid, I received some calls from Iran and Israel,
lot.
people who want to buy here.
A lot, yeah, big stream. I think she had more leads in like 4 days or 5 days than she's told me she had in like 3 months or something like that.
So what
Even
do
if you sprinkle that with salt, it still makes a statement of how important Dubai is. Coming back to Ahmed and saying about safety and security.
What do you think? Is it gonna keep coming or?
Well, the dirham is pegged to the dollar.
Yeah.
And we are the closest place to the region with the instability. And we came out again, just like we did after the COVID, just like we came out after the flood. We came out victorious. We came out safe, unscratched, unhurt. Anything that could have affected our safety or our lifestyle. And of course, that for many is an attraction. And especially when you have bombs flying over your head back home, you're going to want to go where you can be safe with your family.
Yeah.
So definitely, I'm sure Israelis and Iranis are considering.
Yeah, I mean,
investment.
Iranians from a long time
Yeah.
ago, but Israelis, I think they will all come here.
Yeah.
Like not all, like the one who are capable.
But
to
they
buy it.
opened the gates for Israelis like I think 4 years ago. And we have quite a few Israelis.
but now I
I'm in
think there
Business
will be
Bay
more.
and I run across Israelis all the time. Like, you know, I think I don't think any place, including Israel, is a perfect place to live. It's got its
Yeah.
pros and it's got its cons.
Yeah.
And the majority of the Israelis that move to Dubai or any other country obviously prefer another country based on what they think is a pro and con to their life.
Yeah.
Sweden is a great place, but not for me. Could be a great place for you. So someone leaves, someone stays, right?
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, everyone's going to be interested in buying waterfront communities and all of this stuff. Why not? It's a beautiful place. Dubai is a beautiful place. Whatever you want to say, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
I think I think what's happening lately it's like another corona
Effect.
situation. Yeah. I feel like we will hear a lot of news, a lot of investment coming from not only Iran and Israel, but even the surrounding, you know. But well, I don't know what surrounds Iran really.
It's Afghanistan,
Yeah.
Pakistan, like
Yeah.
Kyrgyzstan, all of those.
But these
on the
people
other
are
side.
all
Yeah.
investing here. But anyways, with that being said, now the war is over. Thank God. Regardless it happened or it didn't. Before the war, we had the Fitch reports. We had the speculations that the prices will drop. What did we have? Like oversupply. You heard a lot of it. And this question is really tuned towards Amir. You as a person who launched on the 18th or 8th, I have a bad memory.
Yeah.
June 18th.
June 18th.
It's called stress. Yeah.
You launched at the June 18th a beautiful project called Flow Dubai Island.
I love it. Congratulations. Check out Flow, Dubai Islands,
But-
waterfront community, next to the mall, banging.
What happened to you, man? Like how you would feel like as a developer? We want to have a snippet because if I know how you feel, all developers like they might feel like, especially the boutique developers. What were you thinking? Am I gonna leave? I'm gonna stay? What was the action plan? What did you do?
See, I think of real estate as always a long-term game.
Thank
It's
you.
not
Thank
something
you.
that you trade on a from day-to-day basis.
Thank
it's
you.
not
Thank
like
you.
your groceries. It's not a stock or it's not a crypto trade. It's the long-term game. And there's enough wealth here And there's enough knowledge here for people to know that. And that's why Dubai real estate thrives. And it's like having the opportunity to go to, let's say, your favorite brand and knowing that your favorite brand, let's say Louis Vuitton, is on sale. Would you go and buy it?
Of course, like me and a lot of people.
People line up to buy it at full price. Imagine if it was on sale.
We'll have another war.
Yeah. So Dubai real estate is that
like that.
brand.
Yeah.
It's like the top of brands of real estate all over the world. People that are wealthy, people that understand real estate is a long-term game from all over the world, they'll come in and rescue if there's a drop. I'm not saying there is a drop because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't
Right?
seen it too.
I can't find one plot right now to buy because I thought that, okay, things are going to go on sale. I'm going to go pick up some plots. Nothing's on sale. But let's say if things do drop this summer or in the future, then there's going to be enough smart money that's going to come in and rescue it. They're just waiting for it.
Yeah.
They're waiting for it. There's so many people on the fence that are waiting for things to go on sale here.
And regardless, even people who are here already, if things will drop, well, guess what? They will buy more because they're already here. They understand the market.
And Dubai Islands, why did we choose Dubai Islands and all that stuff? It's a trophy property.
Yeah.
Anything close to the water is limited, not only in Dubai, but in the world. So you cannot find any property that's going to be sold at that quality with those amenities.
And next to a mall, remember.
I think Dubai
It's not
Island,
just-
after what I heard, it might beat the Palm.
No, bro. No, chill.
It's bigger.
Chill.
It's bigger and
Like,
it's better.
why? Like you have to have your argument. Like why Dubai Island
Yeah.
with the golf courses,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the luxury that is
88
built
hotels,
there, the beaches, the way like
marinas.
yeah.
We have to remember that we need to look at Dubai's map and segregate the demographics of people. You understand what I'm saying? Like Dubai Islands, it's an incredible destination. They got great plan for it. Great master developer in Nakhil. 4 islands, 21 kilometers of sandy beaches, 8 marinas, 2 golf courses, etc. 100%.
Yeah.
But the Palm side, like the Dubai is split up in segments for demographics.
Yeah.
So the Palm side, it's just more or less dedicated to that expat, the more tourists. They're gonna call that entire place the tourist hub, right?
You don't think
The-
Dubai
no,
Island will beat that?
Wait. I'm not saying it's not gonna be that because we have so many tourists.
that.
But the demographics for Dubai Island is gonna be, of course, we have 86 hotel. I think it's even 89 hotel, right? But the demographics of this side, we have to look at who are working, the old school, original people in Deira, the traders, all of those guys, commodity traders. These guys, they would never live on Palm. Certain percentage would do, but they don't want to drive to their office and look over things for 50 minutes in traffic. Now they have a destination that's waterfront, okay? By the time these 86 hotels are built and Dubai Island's been promoted internationally as the tourist destination above Palm Jumeirah, that's
what I'm
going to
talking
take some
about.
time.
It will take some time.
Yeah, but we have to always talk about timings. Like timings and plan are two things that are aligned.
Today, yes. But I'll tell you, overall speaking, Palm Jumeirah was just first to the game, right? So it's always going to be the first, and it's always going to be a comparison point. And so it's always going to be that trophy property that people are going to want to be part of.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you look at it from an infrastructure perspective, if you look at it from a perspective of appreciation and an opportunity to invest, I would not touch Palm Jumeirah right now. I would touch Dubai Islands.
Yeah.
It's much more of a longer bet, and it's much more of a appreciating bet than probably Palm Jumeirah.
And when Palm Jebel Ali will be, I think Palm Jebel Ali in terms of size, it's almost or a little bit bigger than.
Let's put it this way. Palm Jumeirah was launched in 2002 or something like that. The villas were sold in 2002, 2003. I remember the signature villas was going for like 4.8.
Yeah.
The garden was going for like 3.5, which is $1 million back then. Okay, this was in 2002, 2003.
Yeah, but this game will not.
No, but wait,
will not happen
no,
again.
but what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
if you look at the size of Palm Jumeirah, right now it's done.
Completed.
The mall is there. It's just a couple of plots left. Now you could say it's done. By the time Palm Jebel Ali is where Palm Jumeirah is today, you're looking at far above 2040. By the time,
Yeah.
if construction and launches go in the same rate that we have today,
2040.
Man, it took 23 years for Palm Jumeirah to be completely done, and we still have a couple of plots that's been working on the crescents.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got the Armani project, you got the Omniat project, you got the Select Group big project, Saint Regis. There's a couple of plots that's being currently constructed in order for plots. Everything is done.
Yeah.
Now it's finally, if you look at the mall, the West Palm Beach. I was here 2016. We didn't have the beach. We didn't have nothing. So it's important to say, what do you think when you discuss real estate in Dubai, because of the growth rate that we have? It's important to pinpoint short-term, mid-term, long-term.
Yes.
What is short-term in terms of years? What is mid-term in terms of years? And what is long-term? Long-term could be 80 years. It could be 10 years. Everyone's got a definition of long-term. So if we look at how long it took for Palm Jumeirah to be completed, right? It took 25 years.
Yes.
And Palm Jebel Ali, I think, is 60 or 70% larger in landmass than Palm Jumeirah.
It's huge.
So I'm thinking in my head, if we look at the rate this was going, remove the couple of years that things were really slow during COVID, previous to COVID, because things were really slow from 2016 and onwards. After the crash of the oil in June 2015 to January 2016, the oil went from $110, $115 a barrel all the way down to 22, January 2016. So infrastructure money dried up. Manpower money dried up. So even if we consider that, let's say consider that now, I'm looking at, by the time Palm Jebel Ali is actually done to the same extent Palm Jumeirah, it can't be quicker than 20 years.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
Definitely,
saying?
I mean, cities aren't built overnight.
Exactly.
Infrastructure
It takes
and
time.
that takes time.
It takes
but
time.
I will say, though, that at that time, we were at the baseline of fundamental growth in Dubai.
Fair enough.
2003,
It could be quicker now.
Today, after COVID, it's a whole different Dubai.
It's
Right?
rapid.
What it was back then. So I think even if it was like 10x, I don't know the number, but let's say it's 10x, I think then you could just expect that to grow faster than it was in historically speaking.
Yeah.
And overall speaking, when you look at it from a perspective that there's more scarcity in properties today than it was in 2003.
100%.
You now have a lot more concentrated effort.
Yeah, 100%.
Right now, as a developer, there's not many places I can go to pick up land and develop like I could have done in 2003
100%.
or 2013 or 2023 even.
Yeah.
So land becomes more and more scarce.
Scarce,
And
yeah.
as land becomes more and more scarce, developers start to target and then basically all put a concentrated effort and building out one city instead of being spread apart and building the whole city.
Guess what? There is more investment than compared to 2003, 4, 5. So basically, we are in an age where the amount of money floating to Dubai is like poof, crazy.
Yeah.
And I believe there were a lot of pauses while Palm Jumeirah was getting built.
Things
There was
were getting,
There was like a problem starting in 2006, 7, 8.
yeah.
So I think there's a lot of pauses.
And overall speaking,
You got a good point. At the same time as I agree with my own point, but you have a good point. Simply for the fact that we have this beautiful place called the Al Maktoum Airport, and that's set to open by 2032. I don't think that they want to have an empty Palm by 2032, because that's supposed to be the Emirates and everything's gonna fly there. So that's supposed to be the Western tourism. That's supposed to, the traffic's gonna
least
go
the
branch,
exactly
the main branch.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean,
and there's
Dubai
nothing,
Islands is great. I love Dubai Islands. The amounts of beaches you get, the fact that you get a golf course and everything. I just think that it's two different demographics. Doesn't mean that one
Agreed.
demographic is more superior than that. I'm just saying it's
No.
two different demographics. And I think it's important to remember that you can't say it's going to be better or worse than, let's say, Palm Jumeirah. You can't say
No,
it because it's two
it's a whole
completely different
different
projects,
audience.
two completely different audience. That's like, let's say, for example, Bulgaria Island. That's a completely different audience. That has nothing to do with Palm, like for example, right? They're both waterfront communities.
Yeah, but
You
that's
see what I'm saying?
we're talking about.
We're talking 17,000 square
Bulgaria,
price per
actually, yeah,
price per
Bulgaria,
square
yeah.
foot. Like we're talking 17,000, 16,000. It's a
like
whole
the
different
VIP
game than
section.
3,025.
You're talking about the VIP section. Like, I'm not talking.
But there's a couple of areas a lot of people forget. If we're going to talk about into the future, man, like there's a couple of areas people forget to talk about. I think main focus is always about waterfront, and I understand that, but people,
like what areas?
people are forgetting, like, if you have a property, if we're talking long term now, talking long term, and I love the fact, because I'm just like you, it's a holding game.
You're gonna talk about Marina.
No.
All right. Sorry.
No.
Go ahead.
When you have a property in Dubai where you get both main landmarks as view, Burj Khalifa currently, and whatever the name will be for Creek Tower, whatever the name's gonna be. Do you know what kind of asset you're sitting on when you have a metropolitan city like Dubai's both landmarks as view? People are not talking about the Maidan Horizon, Mohammed bin Rashid City. People are not talking too much about Jeddah. Jeddah is a budget area, cool, but the front line facing the road that goes to IKEA and that, I don't know what the name, Al Khail or whatever it is. People, if a couple of premium things come out there, because you got a metro station next to the new Etisalat headquarters, no one's talking about, if you have a apartment facing both, a corner unit, like a 2 or 3 bed, 4 bed, whatever, you're sitting on something for the future, bro.
Stay tuned.
Thank you.
tuned.
I'm trying to open up that little.
I hope. Okay, Main Mic. It's a podcast sponsored by Main Realty. I think it's time we have to start talking about Main Realty. Main Realty launched 2 projects. The second project is in Dubai Island, flow residences, and stay tuned also about what Main Realty is planning in the future. I know that Amir, he will start popping up like mushrooms, inshallah.
Inshallah.
And thank you for listening. This episode was, we're going to do a lot of emergency podcasts like this ones. It was necessary to talk about it. I feel like Bardia, I want to say something.
No. I want to say congratulations to Ahmed. Ahmed's helped me incredibly when I went to Miami 2 months ago. I tried to spread the word as much as possible.
Appreciate it.
I'm really looking forward. I missed the launch. Because I'm used to seeing it in my calendar. When I just get on WhatsApp, it's so easily to just like it doesn't go into the calendar. So when I wake up, what do I need to do today? Kind of things. I missed it. You text me like an hour before. I was like, I'm too busy, bro. I can't.
And also, I know that during that moment, your parents, they were like stuck in Iran.
Man. 4 days, I couldn't get hold of them. I was shook.
Yeah.
4 days, bro.
Of course, that comes first.
Oh, my God.
I'm telling you that overall speaking, because we know that it's the summer, because we know of all the things that happened while this past week, we are going to have another launch. We're going to have another event going on soon. So definitely you can't miss that one.
What's the starting price?
1.9.
Ooh, what's that price per square foot?
With post-handover payment plans.
What really? Okay, so what is that? So let's promote this a little bit. Let's do it
go-
American style. Promote everything. Put up signs and stuff in the middle of the show.
Come and see me in the office.
Is it a
We're gonna have to talk
60-40,
about it.
50-50, 70?
60-40.
60-40. And the 40% is
post-handover payment plan.
how many years?
3 years.
Okay, interesting. And that's what, 2,800 a foot?
That comes out to 2,400 a foot.
2,400 a foot.
2,400 a foot.
How big are the 2 bedrooms?
2 bedrooms start at 1,100 square feet.
Okay, and the largest 2 bed is how big?
1,500
Oh, that is and that's a corner unit?
corner unit.
How big is the built up for that unit specifically, roughly between thumb
Built
and-
up.
Yeah.
That is the built
That
up
is,
space.
but what
yeah.
about the? I'm talking about interior, exterior.
interior
Yeah.
carpet area is around
1,200.
Yeah.
So 300
10%.
is it a wraparound balcony?
Some units have it.
Some units. So
Yeah,
so you're
not all
ticking
of
off all the boxes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Ceiling height 3.1, 3.2, 3,
3.2.
3. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. Amenities. How many amenities?
16 amenities.
16 amenities. And it's about 50 meters from the mall, right? 100 meters from the mall, right?
Walking distance to the mall and golf carts that we're going to be taking you to the golf course and to the beach.
Additionally, it's Miami and Dubai.
Yo,
like the way it's
listen.
built.
I just like the name, Flow. Where you staying
Yeah,
at?
Flow.
Flow, bro. Let's go, Flow.
Let's go.
Let's
flow.
go to my place. Let's
Let me
flow.
know, nightclub there.
That's crazy.
We have one. You
Yeah.
have to check out the night
So
club
I will-
and the day
I will
club.
do
Next
some
one,
upstairs.
next project should be called Miami Vibes. I beg you. Miami Vibes. Make it turquoise and pink.
But I'm afraid the name, you can get the name.
Yeah.
No, you can't. You
Oh,
can't
we
use
will blip
Miami.
this.
I don't
We
think
will
you
blip
Make sure
can.
you beeped it out.
Yeah.
We'll flip this.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you
yeah.
so much. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment.
Thank you, everyone.